Hey y'all, welcome to my kitchen. I've just had the best time in Florida this past week, and I thought what better way to bring a little bit of Florida sunshine into your home than to share my key lime pie recipe. Let's get started. So the secret to any good pie and any good key lime pie is the crust. And key lime pies don't have a regular pie crust, they have a graham cracker pie crust, which coincidentally is a lot easier to make. To start out for our crust, we're going to need 1.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs. Now to our graham cracker crumbs, we're going to add half a cup of sugar. Now that's going to be equal parts brown sugar and white sugar. In we go. Now, half of a teaspoon of cinnamon. If you're not a big cinnamon fan, don't worry, you can totally leave this out, but it does give it that little something extra. So now let's make sure and give this a good mix before we add our wet ingredient, because you want to make sure that everything, all the sugar, the graham cracker crumbs, that cinnamon, that it's all evenly distributed. Perfect. It's time for our wet ingredient, which is simply 6 tablespoons of melted butter. Give this a good stir. Now you're gonna notice when you're mixing this together that it's not forming like a traditional dough ball. It has more of a texture similar to sand. That's perfectly fine. Resist the urge to add more butter. That is the exact consistency that you want. Perfect, and now it's time to fill our pie shell. So here is mine. As you can see, it looks a bit untraditional. It's actually not a pie dish, it's a tart dish. But I think that these are absolutely perfect for a key lime pie, but you can use whatever you have on hand. We're just gonna pour all of this mixture straight into the dish. So now comes the fun part where you get to get your hands a little bit dirty. So we're just gonna go ahead and pack all of this into the dish like so. You're gonna wanna make sure it fills up the sides. As you can tell by pressing it, it's actually coming together. So even though it does have like a sandier type consistency, it's gonna all be in one piece when you bake it. Perfect. Now we're gonna bake this in a 375-degree oven for 7 to 10 minutes, or just until it is golden brown and set. Now that our pie crust is off in the oven, it's time to get started on the filling. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start out with half of a cup of good lime juice. You wanna make sure that this is key lime juice, preferably from Key West. Next is going to be a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. Make sure to scrape it to get all the good stuff. Perfect. Next we need 3 egg yolks, no whites. So I'm going to separate out my eggs, and I always do it into a separate container. So you're gonna very carefully crack your egg, and then you are going to just transfer the yolk between the 2 shells until all of that white is gone. Voila. We're almost done, but we need the zest from 1 whole lime. Make sure that you've washed it, and we're gonna take our zester, and we're just gonna zest 1 whole lime. And now make sure you don't want to get too far into that white part of the lime. You just want to get all that good kind of green stuff. And as you're doing this, your kitchen is going to smell delicious because citrus, and especially limes, give off the most amazing smell when they're being zested. And really all that smell, all that fragrant zest is just going to put your key lime pie over the edge. Not to mention it makes it look really pretty because you have all these delightful specks of lime in your key lime pie. Now it is time to stir everything together. Now, of course, you can do this with a mixer, but honestly, it's so quick and easy. I just prefer to do it by hand and not have an extra thing to wash. So now that we have our key lime pie filling made, we need to pour it into our pie crust. Take it out of the oven, let it cool. It's ready to go. So to this, you're simply gonna add your mixture right on top. Just scrape down the bowl and get all of that good, yummy key lime pie filling. Now what we're gonna do is throw this into a 350-degree oven for about 15 minutes or until it's set. And you'll know it's set because when you kind of go to wiggle it, it won't be super jiggly in the middle, it'll all be solid. So here you have our key lime pie that's come out of the oven and it's cooled and it's almost ready to eat. One more step. So to finish this, we're just gonna take some whipped cream, dollop it right on top. Spread it out a bit. Ah, that looks so good. And for a little garnish, we're gonna take another lime and our handy dandy zester. We're just gonna zest a little bit right on top to get all that pretty green key lime zest. Oh, doesn't that look so good? And just like that, you have a little bit of Florida sunshine right in your own kitchen with a beautiful homemade key lime pie. Thanks for chasing me down, y'all.